Hello everyone, my name is Jeanette. I am an animal keeper at Shepworth Wildlife Park and today I will be talking to you about our charity and also about hedgehogs. I have my partner in crime here with me, Liz.
Hello.
Liz is also an animal keeper at the park and an educator and also a trustee for the charity. Shepworth Wildlife Park have managed a hedgehog rehabilitation programme for the last 25 years. But during the last decade, the programme has witnessed a significant rise in the number of hogs that have been brought to us. And in 2011, the programme actually became at breaking point. A new facility was urgently required, and the old one was actually located in Shepworth Wildlife Park in the form of a garden shed. And because the numbers were increasing, we just couldn't cope with it anymore actually within that facility. The SWCC was established in March 2011 and was registered with the Charities Commission in 2012. There are 9 trustees, and the trustees are made up of completely different people, from animal people such as ourselves to actually business people as well, but we all bring our own attributes to the charity. After raising funds, the new SWCC Hedgehog Rescue Centre was opened in November 2012. The facility was built for the sole purposes of preserving the hedgehog population by rehabilitating and releasing animals which are brought into us either orphaned, sick or injured. The centre is run by the SWCC trustees and a team of 3 paid staff, and of course the numerous volunteers that give up their time for free.
Hi, I'm Sasha. I'm the manager here at the Hedgehog Rehabilitation Unit in Shepworth. This is Annabelle. Annabelle was brought to us as a juvenile as she was acting a bit wobbly in someone's garden. So hedgehogs are brought to us here for a number of different reasons. More often than not, they're simply found out during the day and we have to find out what's wrong with them. Now that could be due to starvation and dehydration. It could be due to a heavy burden of internal and external parasites. They could be too young to live without a mum. We have a lot of orphans, particularly in the summer and the autumn months. If they're very small, they simply won't survive hibernation, so that's a good time to bring them to us as well. And also if they're wounded, if they're hit by cars, or if they have a nasty external skin infection called ringworm, that can also cause them to have nasty skin conditions.
Over 650 hogs are brought into the hospital each year by members of the public from areas across Hertfordshire and Cambridgeshire, as well as surrounding areas such as Greater London, Suffolk and Bedfordshire. Whilst the SWCC tirelessly raise funds for the Hedgehog Rehabilitation Programme, the charity also raises funds and educates visitors about various other endangered species, for instance the tiger, the red panda or the pygmy solaris, to name a few. The SWCC has close links with Shepworth Wildlife Park, and we use the park in our fundraising activities. The work of the charity is only made possible through the generous support of donors, fundraisers and of course our volunteers. The SWCC Centre for the hedgehogs was built using a private loan, which the charity is repaying monthly over the next 10 years. The running costs for the centre are approximately £2,300 a month, but this is funded entirely by the SWCC, which relies on public donations of money and materials to keep it open. In addition to the loan repayments, our ongoing costs for the facility include the salaries of the paid staff, volunteer recruitment and training, veterinary bills and medications. Of course, also food for the hedgehogs and general animal husbandry supplies. As well as covering our day-to-day costs, we are always looking for additional funding, which would allow us to invest in new equipment and resources, helping us to improve the care we can give to offer sick or injured hedgehogs.
So whilst the hedgehogs are with us, they stay in these plastic boxes with ventilation. Every day their bedding is changed and their food and water is refreshed, and that's mainly done by our amazing team of volunteers. And then they stay in these two rooms behind me. This room here is our vet room. It's more of a quarantine room for the hedgehogs with ringworm. It's a really nasty, highly infectious fungal disease. And then behind me here is the main room where all the other hedgehogs stay whilst they get happy and healthy, ready for release.
And now I'm going to give you to Liz, and she's going to talk to you about the hedgehogs that you hopefully will see in your gardens.
Hello. Yes, it's actually the European hedgehog that's native to the UK. On the whole, around the world, there are 17 different species, but it's actually our one that is in serious decline and needs immediate help from all of us. So if you have a garden, that's fantastic, because our back gardens are actually the biggest nature reserve we have in the UK. We need to open them up to wildlife in general, but for the hedgehog, the typical hedgehog will travel 1.5 miles a night, so he needs to get into our gardens. If you can have access areas for them to get in, under your fencing, your hedging, into your neighbour's garden, that is fantastic. The European hedgehog is really struggling to survive for many reasons. Loss of habitat is the main reason, and roads. 50 years ago, there were over 30 million. Now there's less than 1 million, and they're disappearing at an alarming rate. So what can we do to help the hedgehog in our garden? If we have a pond, absolutely fantastic, because hedgehogs are natural swimmers, but they will drown if they can't get out. So please make sure you have a shallow area for them to get out, or a ramp to climb on. If you use pesticides in your garden, please make sure they're organic. Anything that's got poisons in will kill insects and also will harm any wildlife, including the hedgehog. You can provide food for them year-round, even when it's hibernation period, because hedgehogs will wake up periodically to actually top up body fat. Put dry biscuits out, but always water. Water is something they need all year round. If you want to provide a home, bottom of the garden is probably the best place, because they like the quietest area. In the shrubbery, under bushes, that is perfect. You can either buy houses for them, or you can make them. You can check online to know how to make a hedgehog house. It's very, very easy. But also, if you want to buy one, you'll have to provide stuff like newspaper inside to layer it, and hay and straw. That is a really great thing to do to help the survival of our beautiful, iconic hedgehog. It's one of the most loved species in the UK, and like I say, we do need to do as much as we possibly can to help its survival.
So Liz, you was actually saying about giving hedgehogs water. Can they not have milk?
They can have milk, Jeanette, but the problem is they're lactose intolerant, so they can't have dairy products. They will drink it, but it'll make them very, very sick. So definitely no milk or bread.
So Liz, the injuries that the hedgehogs are brought in with, what do they include?
Oh, they range from garden injuries, when people cut the grass, they're using streamers, lawnmowers, many get brought in and they've got limbs missing. Many are so severe that they have to be euthanised. Other injuries are where they've gone into plastic bags, into the tops of the plastic rings that come from cans, and they've actually grown into them. So they've actually become incredibly dehydrated. This is very common. Also elastic bands that postmen generally just drop outside the door. The hedgehog will not know that's an elastic band and eat it. Things like that, are often reasons why hedgehogs will die as well.
Also about the 5th of November, probably with bonfires as well. What goes on there?
Oh goodness. Yes, 5th of November, that's a dangerous time for all hedgehogs. It's a time of the year when hedgehogs are getting ready for hibernation, if they haven't already gone into hibernation. Obviously depending on the climate, but hedgehogs will find a bonfire already prepared and think it's an ideal site to go into sleep for the winter, and they won't obviously survive. So what we try to do is get people to build the bonfire on the day of the bonfire.
And I suppose and check as if they've gone underneath as
And
well.
obviously check, because yes, they can come out towards the dusky area, just dusky time, and go into any prepared twigs, sticks, wood, leaves, and go to sleep. So
very
yes,
good
definitely,
advice.
please check.
Do we ever get baby hedgehogs brought into us?
Oh yes, very many urchins. We often get nests of babies brought in, so they can't be treated like the normal adult hedgehog. They have to be fed periodically, when I say periodically, every hour throughout the night. So we have people, volunteers, who actually offer to take care of them at home. There are home carers, which we couldn't do without.
Oh, wonderful. So how long are they actually with the volunteer then? Is it normally around 8 weeks, or when they get fat enough?
It depends. They need to put on the right body weight, but usually 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, and then they can go back out into the wild?
At 8 weeks, the hedgehog in the wild will be foraging around on its own.
Oh, fantastic work. So when hedgehogs are brought in to us underweight, what are the reasons why they're so underweight?
Right, there are numerous reasons why a hedgehog will be underweight if it's brought in. Often they're found out during the day. It's a great deal of them are brought in because they're dehydrated. They may have been poisoned. They'll have parasitic problems also. So we'll do a fecal test and check what's going on there. Only when they're 100% okay will we then think about releasing them back into the wild. They have to be the right body weight to survive.
So Liz, do you think that climate change has got a lot to do with the number of hogs that we're actually seeing in the facility?
I actually do, Jeanette. They're getting confused because the weather is changing, and it's having an impact on when we're seeing them being brought in more. If it's a lot warmer, they will obviously be coming out and they'll be breeding. If it's a lot colder, they'll be going into hibernation earlier. So we have to be aware of that, absolutely.
So how big has a hog got to be before it actually hibernates then?
Yeah, a hedgehog needs to be 600 to 650 grams. Being safe, I would say 650 grams. They will go into hibernation a lot less, but they will not survive, unfortunately.
Yes, and I suppose that if a female is having 2 litters within a year, that second litter just won't have enough time to put on the weight.
Absolutely. The second litter, the autumn litter, is going to find it very, very hard to put on enough body weight, and that's when we get so many brought in. Thankfully, we have wonderful people that look out for hedgehogs, and if they see them out during the day or even at night and they're very, very small, to the end of September or October time, that's when they need to be brought in to a place that will take care of hedgehogs, like our centre.
The SWCC have released hundreds of hedgehogs back into the wild. Rehabilitation and release is considered successful if the animals not only survive, but continue to breed and repopulate the area. To monitor this, some of the hedgehogs we previously released were tagged as part of our Have You Seen Me programme. The tag highlights a unique identifiable number along with a web address, which takes the finder to an online survey where they complete information on the animal. We will hopefully be resuming this programme in the near future. We also encourage the public to help these much loved creatures to survive and thrive. Visitors to Shepworth Wildlife Park benefit from daily talks about hedgehogs, including their characteristics and how to make your garden a safe environment for them, something that Liz was talking about earlier. At the park, we host an annual Hedgehog Day, which is normally in August, and where possible, we go into the community to give talks. When this is not possible, we can provide an electronic version of our talk, such as the one that you are viewing now. We rely heavily on public donations and the help of volunteers to carry out our work. If you would like to help us preserve the species for future generations, there are many ways that you can get involved. You can donate to Shepworth Wildlife Conservation Charity via our website, by text, by phone or in the post. If you visit our full website, full details are available. You can set up a monthly standing order. Knowing that we can count on your regular support helps us to plan for the future. You can place a collection bin in your local shop for meat-based cat or dog food, and you can collect newspapers. This is used for bedding and the hospital uses large quantities on a daily basis. You can place one of our SWCC collection tins in your local pub or shop. And if you run a local business, you can help us out by offering supplies or services free of charge.
Organise your own fundraising events such as a coffee morning or quiz. Take part in a sponsored run or a challenge in aid of SWCC. Attend a talk or event at Shepworth Wildlife Park or our annual Hedgehog Day to find out more about how you can help hedgehogs in your local area. Volunteer your time to help us care for sick and injured hedgehogs. Full training is always provided and our volunteers are all ages from 18 up.
This hospital really does run on the generosity of the public. So one way that is an invaluable help to us is simply come and volunteer your time. So we couldn't run without our amazingly dedicated team of volunteers. You can also apply to be a release site, and if you wish to help us in more of a financial manner, you can check out our Just Giving page. We also always are in need of things such as newspaper for bedding and food, so that will be meat-based cat and dog food, and also cat and kitten biscuits. You can check out our Amazon wish list that has kind of an updated list of everything we are currently in need of, and you can also bring down those items to us at any point.
If we lose the hedgehog, it has a serious effect on the ecosystem, as does everything that is made extinct. So please, please do everything you possibly can to preserve this wonderful, iconic wildlife creature.
Thank you for taking the time to look at this presentation. I hope you found it very informative. If you have any questions, please get onto our website and either myself or Liz will answer your questions. But once again, thank you for your time and thank you for your support.
Thank you very much.